40 years ago, there were fewer than 50 Chicano students here at CSUN. They started attending in large numbers after the 1968 walkouts.
Supporters here are ecstatic as Senator Barack Obama makes his acceptance speech as the first African-American president of the United States.
Every year on April 24, Armenians gather here in Little Armenia with their flags and their banners to commemorate the lives lost of the 1915 Armenian genocide.
The march is over, the candles have been lit, and now students have gathered at CSUN's Chicano House Resource Center to listen to victims who have been sexually assaulted.
Fish and Game says it's going to be coming back to Altera Park to try to trap the coyote, and despite her wounds, the 14-month-old toddler is expected to recover. Reporting from Chino Hills, I'm Tina Sarkissian, Channel 4 News.
It was a winning night for Senator Barack Obama. Hundreds of supporters cheered at the Hyatt Regency in LA to celebrate his victory over John McCain.
Supporters here are ecstatic as Senator Barack Obama makes his acceptance speech as the first African-American president of the United States.
Change has come to America.
Words cannot describe what I'm feeling. It's been, I don't know, like 11 months since I waited for Barack Obama to get this position, that presidency position.
Earlier in the night, a CNN poll projected that McCain would win Ohio State, but Obama won, making it his first key win. The people here were optimistic from the beginning.
Landslide. He's gonna win! He's gonna win!
Obama was declared the winner when he reached 290 electoral votes. Tina Sarkissian, Valley View News, Los Angeles. Hundreds of people from various schools and organizations marched through San Fernando Mission Boulevard to honor the late Cesar Chavez.
I think that working for social justice is extremely important, and I think that Cesar Chavez was a symbol of that. Chavez
fought for equal rights for farm workers and eventually founded the United Farm Workers Union in 1962. The traditional Aztec dance group, Danza Mexica Cuauhtemoc, led the 2-mile march to the Cultural Arts Festival in Cesar Chavez Park.
He's like a role model to me because he's one Latino and he's representing all of us.
Aztec dancer Jorge Boche says his group was here to honor Chavez and to unify people through their dances.
By us having our presence there, not only do we give voice to our community, but we let them know that we are still here. And no matter what, we're never going to go anywhere.
Antonio Sanchez says it's important to be aware of Chavez's efforts in bringing justice for the Chicano community.
I'm training parents, I'm training students to continue with this leadership.
The Cesar Chavez Commemorative Committee, which was established a year after his death in 1993, hopes that the national government will recognize Chavez's birthday, March 31st, as a national holiday. Tina Sarkissian, Valley View News, San Fernando. Rushing down their high school steps and holding up their signs for justice, thousands of Mexican-American students in 1968 boycotted their classes and marched along the streets of East LA demanding better treatment and representation from the LAUSD system. An 11th grader at the time, Harry Gamboa Jr., was the walkout leader at Garfield High School. Now an artist and a CSUN Chicano Studies professor, Gamboa says the public education he grew up with was inadequate.
There were signs that said no Mexicans allowed. There were no Mexicans or anything related at all to Mexican culture in any of the literature, in any of the class structures. In fact, anything that was Mexican was viewed as being something deserving of punitive responses.
Mentor and Lincoln High School teacher at the time, Sal Castro, played a key role in helping Chicano students by organizing the walkouts. He says he was fearful for the safety of the students protesting.
Just 3 years before, 36 people had been killed in Watts. In fact, the U.S. Army came into Watts, California, and 36 people had been killed, and because of a similar protest.
No one was killed, but the police used extreme force against the students instead to end the demonstrations.
They wanted to make changes in education for generations of kids that they didn't even know, and that's exactly what they did.
Some CSUN Chicano Studies students say watching the documentary and listening to the activists speak about their experiences is beneficial.
We have learned about the Chicano movement, but we never seen the ones who were involved, like Sal Castro, and being able to see like the real person who were involved is like very inspiring, and see that it was real.
40 years ago, there were fewer than 50 Chicano students here at CSUN. They started attending in large numbers after the 1968 walkouts. Now, CSUN's Chicana and Chicano Studies Department is the largest of its kind in the nation. Tina Sarkissian, Valley View News, Northridge. The constant media messages that tell the public how to look and how to achieve that look are not always realistic.
I see all these girls being really, really skinny and with big boobs and like stuff. I'm like, I want to look that way because I think it's the right way to look.
Since I don't fit the blonde skinny type, it makes me feel like I'm imperfect in some ways.
CSUN's Women's Studies Student Association is active in trying to combat this particular problem by having students sign up for meetings where they can discuss their views on body image.
I'm getting there where I actually feel really comfortable.
Okay, so you're in process.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good place.
Jun Kwan, president of WSSA, says the media continuously tell individuals that they are too fat, too thin, or too oily.
Through those messages, girls feel the need to change themselves, and they go to drastic measures, develop eating disorders, and they don't love their body.
And it's not just women.
When I'm hungry, I think I have better things to do than eat, so I don't.
Sociology professor Melanie Klein says people can become more comfortable with their bodies by simply analyzing where their self-image comes from.
I'm perfect, be like me. Commercials, boyfriends putting you on a diet, grandmothers telling you that if you lost 10 pounds, you would maybe have a relationship. All of those things make up our body image.
Tina Sarkissian, Valley View News, Northridge. My body, my right, and stop rape now are just a few of the many phrases people were exposed to all around Plaza del Sol. These t-shirts were decorated by students in an effort to grab people's attention in learning more about sexual harassment.
Rape is not about what you wear. It's not about your age or your size or where you go. That it's about power and it's about control and it's about stepping on other people's rights.
Students then went on to lighting candles and marched across campus. Towards the end, students walked in silence to honor the victims. The march is over, the candles have been lit, and now students have gathered at CSUN's Chicano House Resource Center to listen to victims who have been sexually assaulted. The Rape and Incest National Network says from 2006 to 2007, there have been more than 200,000 sexual assaults in the U.S. One CSUN student was even willing to share her story.
I was first sexually assaulted when I was 17. The first guy who ever kissed me pinned me against the wall and fondled my breasts. The second guy ended up trying to rape me at a party full of about 50 people, and only one person saw and only one person intervened. The third time I was sexually assaulted, it was when I was hanging out with someone who was intoxicated, who decided to perform oral sex on me, even though I continued to say no. And the last time, which was in October of 2007, my virginity was taken from me, and a student at CSUN did rape me.
Tina Sarkissian, Valley View News, Northridge. Consumer spending accounts for 2/3 of total economic activity, and U.S. consumers aren't spending. Retail sales edged up just 0.2% in March after a 0.4% decline in February.